great for anybody who's wanting to eat more leafy greens. So as you guys hang on one second, I'm getting a message.
Can you say hi to everybody on YouTube now too?
Yes, hello to everybody on YouTube. So Facebook and YouTube, we're doing something very exciting right now. We are going live on both YouTube and Facebook. Normally, we just go live on Facebook and then upload to YouTube, but we are trying a new experiment today. So we are live on both Facebook and YouTube right now. So please, as you tune in, come down to the comments below, say hello, let me know who's watching, and let me know where you're watching from, okay? While you do that, I'm gonna get my phone set up, and then we're gonna get cooking. All right, this is very exciting. Clean and delicious.
Can you just give the YouTube people just a quick rundown of what you're making?
Yes. Well, we're going to be talking to everybody at the same time, right?
Yeah, but we started late.
We started late. So I'm making my go-to kale recipe, guys. It's a very simple recipe. It works for anybody who's trying to eat more leafy greens, and it's also good for those nights when you don't want to think. I think it's really important to have recipes in your pocket for nights when you're like really busy and you just don't want to think and you don't want to use a recipe, right? That's the key to making this cooking thing sustainable. You got to kind of get in your own rhythm. So I got my page up. I'm going to pull my page on my computer, and then guys, we're going to bring it over and talk about the kale, okay? Oops. Cinnamon. Oops. Anybody tuning in, B?
Yeah, we got people. Supriya said hello. Diana from Utah. We have Kavita Doka. I don't know where she's from. Say where you're from, YouTubers.
Yeah, tell us where you guys are watching from. Okay.
Jeremiah is from NYC in the house, right across the river.
Okay, awesome. All right, guys. So here's the deal. First thing I wanted to show you is when you buy kale, now you know you could do kale raw, you could do it cooked. I wanted to show you this. So I bought this kale at the grocery store, and look at the stems. This is how the stems came. I already washed it. You see how short the stem is? They basically cut those stems off because this is older kale. So when you notice that, that's always kale you're gonna wanna cook, okay? Because if you're gonna eat kale in a salad, you want the most tender, fresh baby kale you can get, and older kale like this, you're gonna cook. So I just pulled off the stems, and I'm gonna do a rough chop, and then we're gonna take this over to the stove, and I'll show you guys how we're gonna rock this, okay? Into the bowl. All right, come on over. Put my kale over here, get my pan heating up. This is a 12-inch non-stick ceramic pan. Those tend to be the pans that I cook with the most. I like them because you don't need to use a ton of oil or butter because you've got a little bit of coating on the pan already. Okay, let's see what we got going on here, guys. All right, oh nice. Oops. All right, hello you guys. I see everybody tuning in. Hello, hello, I'm watching. Just know I'm watching and I'm listening, okay? So the first thing I'm gonna do is add a little bit of olive oil to the pan. So this is gonna be like a garlicky kale, and this goes with almost anything. You could put it with eggs, you could serve it as a side dish to chicken, you can mix it into, into like a grain bowl. So many different options, right? So I just start with a little bit of extra virgin olive oil, about a tablespoon, probably a little bit less. And then I'm gonna get my garlic into the pan. And I have about 4 cloves of chopped garlic here. I usually do a little bit more. And with garlic, I have it over here. I was going to chop it on camera and I forgot. With garlic, guys, now normally when I do onions and stuff, I always say, get the oil hot, then add your garlic to the pan or your onions. But with garlic, because garlic can burn very quickly, I like to bring it up with the oil a lot of times. Number one, it infuses its flavor into the oil when you bring it up slowly like that. Number two, you know that you're not going to overdo it, so you're not going to go too far too fast. Let's get a spatula. All right. Once you see your garlic is just starting to dance around the pan a little bit, the first thing I do is I always give it a pinch of salt. It pulls out the liquids and it gets it cooking even faster. And then I'm going to go right into the greens. Now, do note, what I'm showing you here today, you can do, hello, kale on the floor. You can do it with Swiss chards. You could do this with dandelion greens. You could do this with any dark leafy green. We're just doing it with the kale, okay? So in you go. And then you're going to need some type of liquid. Now, you can do water here, but I like to do a little bit of broth because that's going to infuse even more flavor. So I'm going to put about a third of a cup That was about a half a cup. I measured it so I could tell you guys exactly what we were doing.
What did you do to the garlic?
I'm going to show you guys. All I did was a fine chop. So actually, while that's cooking, let's do this. Come over here real quick. So all you want to do with your garlic, I like the flavor of garlic, so I don't like to cut it too small. So what I like to do is a nice thin slice like this. Can you see it? Mm-hmm. And you're just literally letting your knife rock back and forth, and your finger will control how thick or thin.
See the back.
Ready? Watch. See how I tuck the fingers, and then this finger, this knuckle, is going to determine how fast and far I move that back. Will determine how fat my garlic is. See? So I like it right there. If you like it finer, then you would just go from here and go into a chop. Okay? Dice it up so you have it nice and small. Okay. Rip headphone users. All right, I don't know what that means. Okay. All right, guys. So let's see. Very quickly, what you're going to notice is the kale starts to turn a bright, vibrant green. Right? Now, notice how quickly this is happening, and I really want to emphasize it because I know a lot of times we think, oh, I don't have time to make vegetables during the week, or we're all so busy we don't think we can make it. But with really easy recipes like this, you really can find ways to work it in, especially if you do a little bit of food prep on the weekend. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to season it with a little bit of black pepper and a little bit of kosher sea salt. And what you're going to see is going to happen is all of the broth that we added to the pan, that broth is going to evaporate. And really, you're just going to be left with the olive oil and the garlic. Now, here's the thing with kale. It all depends on how far you want to take it, right? So more people who really enjoy the texture and the flavor of kale, I find once you get this vibrant green, you can really finish it up and be ready to eat it. If you like a really tender, buttery kale, or if you're newer to eating kale, or if you want to feed it to your kids, then I would let it cook a little longer. And what I might even do is add a little bit more liquid, because you can see my liquid is already evaporated. So that was a half a cup of broth that's already evaporated. Susan, yes, you absolutely can use a garlic press. You're just going to have smaller pieces of garlic in your kale, which is totally fine. Personal preference there. We got Long Island, New York in the house. Okay. So this is the most basic recipe. You could stop it right here and call it a day, which is basically what I'm doing. We'll plate it up. But I wanted to show you guys some of the mix-ins that I also like to do sometimes. Actually, I'm going to add a little of this. So this is fresh nutmeg. And I've done this with you guys before, but adding a little bit of fresh nutmeg to any type of leafy green adds such depth of flavor, and it adds, like, I call it that hot ingredient, like where you're eating it and you're like, I can't quite put, my son is homesick today. What's up, buddy? Okay, hang on one second. So that's one thing I like to add. How far are we going to go with this? Another great, you know what, let's plate it up and then I'll show them all the topping options.
Yeah, can you just extol some of the virtues of kale?
Oh, yeah. So kale is packed with chlorophyll, okay? Here, let's go on the other side and... Hey, Jax, come here, buddy. What? You want to say hi to everybody? Who?
Do you have a preference of stock that you use? Chicken stock?
I always look for an organic, low-sodium chicken stock. Personal preference. Come here, buddy. Look, Daddy's filming. You want to say hi? Come here. We bribed him with the iPad. He's home with a sore throat. Hi. Can you say hi to everybody? Hi. Say, I'm Jax. I'm 5. Okay, go ahead. We'll be done in a few minutes.
Go play Minecraft. I can't help you right now, Bubba.
Oh, boy. Wouldn't you know it? Okay. Come here, buddy. Let me see what you need. All right. You can't use that. All right, here's what you can use. Here. You can take mommy's away. We'll be done. Mom of the year.
We have everyone from Norway to Saudi Arabia. This is
amazing,
crazy.
Guys. So here's what I want you to see. All right, this whole thing came together in 5 minutes, right? And it's garlic, kale. So someone's asking me about the benefits of kale. First of all, dark leafy greens have omega-3 fatty acids in them. A lot of people don't know that. You think you have to eat fish or some type of animal to get that, but you don't. Actually, dark leafy greens give you that rich, healthy fats. It's also rich with chlorophyll, and if you think of what chlorophyll is, right? Trees are packed with chlorophyll, and what they do is they filter, right? So if you live by a big city, or if someone's smoking, or if there's any type of toxins in the air, the trees are cleaning that. That's filtering it all out. That's what kale does in your body, right? So it's not only is it packed with tons of vitamins and minerals and antioxidants, but it literally is a filter, so it helps to catch anything that we don't really want floating around in our body, and it pulls it out with it. I think that's one of the most powerful things about kale. Okay.
Marisol wants to know how you get your kids to eat something like this.
Just like this. I'll tell you what I would do if my kids were eating. I would let it cook a little bit longer. So once that water evaporates, add a little bit more liquid so that the garlic doesn't burn and the kale doesn't burn. And I would cook it a little bit longer until it's very soft and tender. So once it turns bright green, let it keep going a little bit. Another thing kids love, so I got this out to show you guys, is a little splash of soy sauce or tamari, which is basically like a soy sauce without the soy. If you add a little bit of tamari in there or soy sauce, great flavor. Kids love that addition. My son loves it with a little bit of Parmesan cheese over the top. If my kids weren't going to eat it, my husband and I love it with red chili peppers. And if I was going to add the chili peppers, I would add it to the pan with the garlic so that it could toast up with the garlic and you get like a real depth of flavor there. So it's super simple, super bright, super delicious. And really, you all are here with me. How long did that take? 5 minutes, right? So I'll take a couple of questions.
Is there a PLU code to know if something is a local at the grocery store?
Oh my God, that's a great question. Local.
What's the organic PLU code? It's like 9.
I believe organic is 6, and like GMO is 3,
Okay.
and conventional or organic is 9. I have to brush up on that stuff. You know, it's funny when I'm doing research and all that. It's all fresh in my mind, but I haven't looked at that in a while. I'm not sure if there's for local. That's really an interesting question. I'm going to look into that, guys. If anybody knows, type it down in the comments below so you can all help each other.
That was a Facebook question.
Awesome. Anybody on YouTube have any questions before we wrap it up?
Organic is 9, Monica says from YouTube. Someone said something about they freeze their stock, and then can he put his ice cube if he has a chicken stock?
Yes, that's a brilliant idea, especially if you're making homemade stock. Freeze it in your ice cube trays, and then when you're doing something like this and you only need a couple of tablespoons, you can just pop out what you need. It'll melt in your pan immediately, and you're good to go. So great tip. Thank you for sharing that. All right, guys, so this is my go-to garlicky kale recipe. My kids eat it, I eat it. It's great in grain bowls, mixed with eggs, tossed into pasta dishes. What's the other way we love to eat it? I was just thinking, you could put it in a burrito with like rice and beans if you do like a wrap.
We have it all the time.
Yeah, we have it all the time because it's that fast, that convenient, and it's packed with flavor. All right, my friends, I'm going to post this recipe as soon as we hang up here. Thank you for joining live. We're going to be doing a lot more of this. We've got some cool things up our sleeve. I will let you know about them as soon as we're organized. All right? Take good care of yourselves. I'll see you all soon.
And we'll get back to YouTube and Facebook in a little bit once we get off here.
Yes. Cheers. Mwah.